Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Machine Builder, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make custom blocks in the new beta. So in this beta, well, number one, here's a bug. Baby villagers are headless. So that's a thing, I guess. Anyway, let's get right into it. So the first thing is you're going to want to make a behavior pack. So I have one over here. This is just in my behavior packs folder, just one right here. And then first things first, you're going to make a new folder for blocks. There we go. Okay, so go into your blocks folder and create a new file here and call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it custom geometry geo.json. There we go. And now we have this file. So I'm just going to open this up in Visual Studio Code. You can use whatever text editor you want, doesn't matter. And then in here, we're going to make a new block. So I'm going to set the format version, which is format_version, over here to 1.16.10 or 0. And then inside the components, you can have your block components. So I'm going to add in a material instances. This basically sets up how the block will render in game. So you're going to set up a texture, and I don't have one yet, but I'm just going to call it custom geo for now, and a render method, which I'll set to alpha test. This can also be blend, alpha test, or opaque. There we go. Texture name, terrain, underscore texture .json in the result backpack here. So that's that set up. And then you're going to set up Minecraft entity collision. And this defines how you walk on your block. So if you want your block to be a slab, you do something like this. Origin, -8, 0, -8. And this is the pixel coordinate of the bottom collision point of your block. So if you have something in 3D, like kind of like a slab circle block bench here, it might be easier to explain. There we go. So I'm just going to create a new bedrock model. Well, it doesn't matter. Don't need to call it anything. I'm going to add a cube. So over here, if I just change this position to -8, -8, that is the coordinate of the bottom part of the hitbox, and then you can change the size, kind of like so. So if you want it to be a slab, the size will be 16 by 8 by 16, and that is a slab block. So you just set that up in your geometry. So after here, size 16, 8, 16. So there we go, we have our size set up, which is the same as it is here in Blockbench. And as you can tell, that's correct. And then obviously if you want any shape, you can just move this around, scale it up. Maximum size of 16 by 16 by 16. So this is the biggest size for collision you can go. You can make the geometry as big as you want, but collision box must be this big. And you can make it like this shape, honestly whatever you want, doesn't matter, you can do that. But that's that. So now that we have our collision box set up here, that's that. And you can set up a opaque collision, which defines the outline of the block. So I want the same position. I'm just going to make this a full block for now. So there we go. Entity collision is a full block, pick collision is also a full block. And then under here you can set up a loot table, but I don't need one, so I'm just going to loot tables /empty.json, or if you leave this blank, the block will drop itself. So I'm actually going to do that. Go. And then you can set it with geometry, which will link to, well, the geometry of your block. So geometry.block.customgeo. It can just be geometry.whatever, but I like to use block here so I know that it's not an entity. Okay, I'm actually going to move this line up here so it's easier to tell, because this is rendering stuff. Actually, I'll put it all the way up here. This is rendering stuff, this is collision stuff down here, and then underneath we can actually have block components. Like Minecraft is story time, it shows how long the block will take to break, so I'm just going to set to 0.5 seconds. Friction, default value for this should be 0.6. We also have map color, Minecraft color, and then this is a hex value for your color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the color that will show up on a map when your block is displayed inside of Minecraft map. And then you can also set it to be flammable, don't want that. Minecraft block light absorption 0.0. I believe that is the correct term. I will just open up the blocks page here. I just search up light. Okay, there we are, that's all we need. I'll just reference this link below. And also, there's another good link over here, which I will chuck in the description. Of the video. So that's that. That's our block setup. You don't need anything else. And then, so now we have our block. It's in there. Custom geo. I'll rename it to underscore because I like that instead. And there we go. So now you go into your resource pack over here, which is again just in the resource packs folder. And then new folder, models. Okay, so in your models folder over here, you're going to have an entity folder inside, which will contain your geometry files. So I'm not going to put anything here yet. I'm just going to open up Blockbench, which I already have here. And I'm just going to save this empty one into this folder, models, entity, and then call it. I'm just going to call it custom geo or custom geo.geo.json. There we go, save it. So now I'm going to create a new cube in here, which will be kind of like this. I guess it doesn't really matter what I do. There we go. Duplicate it. Scale some stuff down. This is kind of how you model in Blender, just duplicate scale. Usually just extrude scale in Blender, but still, that's besides the point. There we go, that looks enough like a table. So now I'm just going to create a texture and set that up. There we go. So now I have a texture for my block. And I'm just going to paint some base material on it. This is our table done. So you can now save this and then save your texture. So you're going to save your texture into a new folder in your resource pack, textures, and then in here, block, and save this as whatever you want. I'm just going to call my custom geo because that's the name of the block. So there you go, we're done here. You can close out of this because obviously we're done modeling that. So there we go. Now in here we have models and textures. And then blocks. And now in our textures, we're just going to open up. So in here, in the textures folder, new document, terrain, underscore texture.json. There we go. Go ahead, open it here. Resource pack, texture, terrain texture. There we go. Cool. And so in here, this is where we define how to link the texture to the block. So levels, this doesn't really matter, this is just the vanilla stuff. That's what we said about textures, so whatever we called our actual block texture in here, so this, the one that links to here, custom geo, you're going to put that into here. Custom geo, and then textures, and then link it to textures / blocks, and then whatever you called it. So I called my PNG custom geo. So it's in here, that one. There we go, custom geo. And then that should be that done. Okay, that's our texture set up. So that should actually be all we need to make our first custom block. So if we open up the game again, and open up the world with your packs applied, okay, so we're in the world, but I did see an error pop up on the screen, and I think I know why that was. I'm pretty sure I spelled block light absorption wrong, so I'm just going to save and quit. Open up this, custom geo, over here light absorption, yeah, I did spell it wrong. My bad. That. Saw something was wrong, very confused. Okay, that should be it, and now it's set to 0, so it should all work. And light absorption just basically removes the shadow from underneath a block, because custom blocks have very dark shadows, which just looks bad. So, okay. And here we have geometry file, geometry.block.customgeo does not exist. So I know why that is again, it's because I didn't name my geometry correctly, but I'm just going through errors that occur to me, so you'll know, like if you see the same errors, you'll know what to change and what to fix. So this is the name of the geometry we specified in our block file, but we didn't actually name the one we made in Blockbench. But there we go, so I'm going to just call that button main. There we are. So now that should be it. That's all we need. And there we go, we're in the world. And it won't show up in the inventory, that's just some annoying thing. Also, the inventory is pretty bugged, there are some skeleton skulls and duplicate items lying around here. But that's fine, that's not part of the video. So over here, we have this thing, which renders in your hand correctly. It shows the custom geometry. You place it down, it works as you set it up. So as you can see, you can stand on it, you can walk everywhere across it, you can break it just fine. You can build a lot out of it. And well, that's basically it. So that's how you make your basic geometry. But if you want to set up things like 1 of 1, see how this is all wooden? Obviously it should break with an axe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save and quit there, open up this block code here, and then an axe. If I just open up the beta items folder over here, so over here we have some of the new files. So if I just open up a golden axe, for example, you can see here wooden blocks have the tag wood. So I'm just going to copy that tag, and over here, add here, Minecraft tag, and then wood, and then just do that. So I've tagged the block as wood, so access will be able to break it quickly. And then also, in your resource pack, I'm going to add a new file called blocks.json. There we are, so we're going to open blocks.json and example custom geo and textures. That's just custom geo sound wood. So now if we open up Minecraft again, over here, when I place and break the new block, all over here, I have an error about the tag not working. So I'll look into that quickly. So over here, we'll just search up tag Minecraft wood. There we go. So that should be set up with a tag now. it is, it looks like. Cool. There we go, lovely. So if I just grab out custom geo, press it down, you can hear it has the wood sound. And if I need survival, and to grab an axe, there you go. Or actually, it's the same speed. I guess that's not working just yet then. That's quite strange. That's how you make your custom geometry blocks. So that's set up correctly. And if you want, well, if you want to make any geometry, you can. So you can do whatever you want with this, honestly. And the geometry can also be larger than the block size. So it doesn't need to be just limited to one block. You can have the model be big, but the hitbox will still be very small. It'll be one block. So now I'm going to get onto custom crafting tables for your blocks. So I already have 2 of those blocks there, so I'm going to leave them there and open up the behavior pack, make a new folder, call it recipes. Go. And first in my block.json, I'm going to add in I'm just going to test this quickly too. But over here, I'm going to add in a crafting table attribute component. Minecraft crafting table. Grid size defines how big the grid is. Currently only 3 is supported, but later on there are plans to make it so you can have big crafting tables or smaller ones like 2x2 or 1x1, which are basically the same. Be the same as like trading, but yeah. So crafting tags, and then you can define any crafting tag here. So I can do custom here crafting tag. There we go. Doesn't matter what's there, and you can define as many as you like because it's a list. So you can just have things like this, tag 2, and so on. Have as many as you like. Doesn't really matter. But there we go. Now in recipes, I'm just going to make a new one. Custom geo pickaxe JSON. There we go. So this is a recipe now. So in here, you can set the format, version to 1.12, recipe, shape, description, identifier, and it's just going to be set up. Example, custom pickaxe. This is the identifier of the recipe, so it doesn't really matter what you type here. And then tags, this is where we define the tags we have in that block. So over here you can see we have custom geocrafting tag. So just take that and put that in now. Again, this is a list as well, so you can put as many tags as you want. Doesn't matter. But there we go. Tags, and then find your pattern for your recipe. There we go, pattern. Define your key. So you'll make a pickaxe out of sticks and dirt. And the result will be item Minecraft diamond pickaxe. There we go. So you get 1 diamond pickaxe by crafting it out of dirt. So if we jump back into this world over here, once it decides to load, there we go. As you can tell, that baby villager grew up as well. Over here you can see when we right click this, we have the custom crafting table, and if we pick up some dirt, 3 pieces of dirt and 2 sticks. Probably would have been quicker to give that to myself, but still. So over here you can see pickaxe. Diamond pickaxe right there, and you can craft it with this recipe. And if once I say an iron block or something like that, I cannot turn this into iron in this crafting table, but I can do it in my inventory. Because this crafting table doesn't have that recipe linked with it, it only has the custom ones that I made. But you can also add in the vanilla ones, like so. If you go up here to your block and add in crafting table, that will add in the vanilla recipes. So that's how you set that up. But up here we have this, so that's fine. I feel like filling in this hole. There we are, so that's how you make your custom crafting tables. So now I'm going to teach you how to make custom crops. So like plants that grow and things like that. Okay, so let's get right into it. Go into behavior pack, blocks, call this one custom crop. JSON. There we are. Open it up. And now I'm just going to set up my crop to function how I want it to. There we are, so this is a block. Just delete that bit. And I will remove that as well. Doesn't matter. Destroy time, I'm going to set that to 0.0. This pops very quickly. Friction doesn't really matter. And geometry, custom geometry.block.crop. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to build my own, make my own geometry for this crop. So texture will be custom crop. And that will also be the identifier. And I'm going to use alpha test because I want the crop to be see-through, like a kind of like a grass or like wheat. Okay, so over here, I'm going to remove the entity collision because you can walk through plants. So there we go, so now entities won't collide with this. Pick collision can stay there. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm going to remove this tag because I don't want it there. I don't want it to be a crafting table either, that would be kind of weird. Map color, that's fine, that's just black. Custom crop, yep, that's set up correctly. And up here, you can set up custom block properties. So that's getting a little bit more complicated. But you can set up like block states basically, like to track the growth of your crop. So I'm going to call mine test growth stage. And then you can define the range or what the growth stage can actually be. So I want it to have 7 growth stages and go from 0 to 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0 will be the default stage that the block will be on. And over here, I believe it's this one. This goes through block states somewhere. Yeah. Over here. Here, block permutations. So it sets up properties. And as you can see, there are types of properties you can do. You can do booleans as well, and strings. So you can do those types of properties if you want to. And then that's just how you set it up, but I'll go through that as well. It's fine. So we are, go to our custom crop. And then under components, I'm going to add in a permutations, which changes the texture of the crop depending on the growth stage. So condition query block property test growth stage equals 0. And I'm going to set up components, which will basically change the block's components. So I'm going to take this and copy and paste that into there. And texture will be custom crop growth stage 0. And I can get rid of this. And I'm going to leave that as alpha test because I want it for the plants. So there we go. That should be set up. And then I'm also going to set the Minecraft pick collision to origin -8, 0, -8, and then size to 16 by 2 by 16. So that will make the box very short. So it's basically just on the ground because wheat actually changes height in collision boxes as it grows. So each stage the box is a little bit higher. So that's how we set that up, and that's just one permutation. And then I'm just going to copy this bit, and that's it. 0 to 6, which is 7 stages. And then over here in stage 1, the block is going to be at height 4, height 6, height 8, height 10, height 12, 14, and then that's the last stage. So it won't ever be a full block, but it will be close enough. Or I guess, yeah, that's fine. That doesn't matter. So it goes from stage 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At each stage, it will change its texture to this new texture here. And then over here, we can then set up a random ticking attribute so that the block will actually tick. So let's set up Minecraft random underscore ticking on tick event grow stage, and this is the event we're going to call. So we're going to need some events, and then in your events you're going to add in your grow stage here, randomize, just so we can allow the crop a chance to grow or not grow depending randomly. So basically only 50% of the times that the crop ticks will it actually grow up one. So wait one, set block property. So we're going to set the growth stage to query dot block property, and then over here we're querying the property of the block. So this will get the current growth stage of the block and check that the growth stage is below 6, which is the max stage. And then if it is below 6, we will then set it to query.block property test growth stage +1, or otherwise if it's already not 6, then we don't want it to grow, so we're just going to set it to 6 because 6 is the final stage anyway. So that's that, and that will set up that. I think we can actually do Q instead of query, but I don't want to do that right now just because I don't need to, and it's probably more easily readable if it says query. So over there, that's the growth stage set up. So now we just have to make our geometry and our textures. So we're going to go into here, models, entity, with a JSON. Can I call this block.crop? There we are. And I think there might already be a default wheat shape setup, but in case there's not, I'm going to just make my own. So new cube, scale it down so you can see they're fixed. So I can close the geometry file, make sure that's correct, geometry.block.crop, geometry.block.crop, yeah, that's correct. So now we just have to make these growth stages. So over here, textures, terrain texture. Over here, I'm going to create new one, textures, blocks, and then our blocks. So we create custom crop growth 0 and reopen our model into Blockbench so that I can texture each stage of the crop. Import texture, blocks, custom stage 0, paint, and just erase this whole thing. There we go. Now I have nothing here. That should be everything gone. Yep. So now I'm going to make some green pieces. Okay, so over here I finished the final stage, so I'm going to save that, close it, and over here we have all our stages of texture, so that should be that done. And over here I have the ticking crop, so grow stage, it will then grow and changes texture based on that. So I'm just making a bunch of new textures. Custom crop growth stage is set up. Now if I open this world, we should have custom crops. There may be errors, but we'll see them. So there we go. Opening up. And it loaded, no errors. Custom crop. There we are, we have 64 of them. And as you can tell, they don't show up in your hand because they have the alpha test material. But when you have a crop anyway, you don't usually have its block model, you have a seeds item which places it. So we'll do that too. But over here, if we place a bunch of them, you can tell they're just sitting here on the ground. We can fill up an area with them. So as you can tell, they are growing by themselves now. And if we just do more and tick speed 100, you can see they're starting to grow. The blocks are spreading as well. You can tell they're growing. I don't know what's happening over there with that. I guess that's just because they're beside blocks. And now we can add some functionality to these. So first I'm going to make sure they can't be placed anywhere and have to be placed on farmland. So I'm just going to overwrite this one. Here we are. Geometry.block.crop, that should be the same. And I guess I'll maybe put this in the, I'll probably put this in the description. There'll be a download link. Yeah, or I'll just send like a copy paste place for this. But anyway, here's the new geometry. This one should not cause flashing. I have a feeling the flashing was due to the UV maps doing weird things. Not actually a rendering bug, I don't think, anymore, because I just looked into it a little bit. But yeah, there we go. Okay, they're no longer flashing. So now we're going to actually add some functionality and make this only placeable on farmland. So save and quit and open up this crop. And over here we have our custom crop. And then we can set up a placement filter. Okay, so to make our crop placeable on farmland only, you're going to add in a Minecraft placement filter, conditions, and over here allowed faces up. I think there's up, down, north, south, east, west. I'm pretty sure those are the phases. And then block filter being farmland. You can, if you wanted to place a stone, do stone, dirt, grass, whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. Cobblestone, whatever. But so that's basically it. So that's your block filter setup, and that should only allow your crop to be placed on farmland. We can test that right now. If we open up this, here we go. There we are. So now we have our crops. And I'm right clicking, nothing is happening. But if I right click here, you can see I can place it here. So you can't place it anywhere else. Right click, cannot place it apart from farmland. So that's that issue solved. And then now we need an actual item instead of placing this thing. So we're going to make a new item. So I'm going to save and quit, go to here, blocks, and then open up an items folder. Okay, and inside your items, create a new file and call this custom seeds. JSON. There we are. Open this up and set up your format version 1.16.100. Identifier. We're going to call this example, and then here we have a custom crop, so I'm just going to call this custom seeds. And then category, which is the creative category it's in, so I'm going to put nature. Category is currently a bit broken, but hopefully when they'll fix it, when Mojang fixes it, it'll be ready. So in the component section, if I go over here, and these are the components for normal seeds in Minecraft, so I'm just going to copy the block placer bit. Actually, I won't copy it because then you don't learn it, so I won't remember it. But Minecraft block placer, and then block example custom crop. There we go. So that's the block that we're placing. Should place custom crop. So now I'm going to go to our resource pack, create a new item folder. So over here we have our items folder, create a new file in here, .json, open it up. I'm just going to break it into this one, custom seed. So this is the resource pack one. So we don't really need this, but it's fine. Custom seed, so this is resource pack, format, version 1.16.100. So set up a Minecraft creative category, but they don't actually work at the moment, but hopefully when they're added they'll work, so my items will automatically be ready for that update. Item group.name.seed. So these seeds will be in the seeds section of the nature category. So I'm going to set up icon, texture, custom seeds. Minecraft render offsets, set that to seeds. Minecraft display name value custom seeds. So now we have our seeds resource pack file set up. We can go over here, and there's our items. Textures, new folder, items. Okay, so in our items folder, you're going to make a texture. So I just stole the vanilla one for now. Seeds, wheat, open it up. And then we'll rename this to custom seeds.png. There we go. New folder in here, item, texture. JSON. There we are. Okay. There's that one. The item we are referencing is custom seeds. Resource pack name. Custom seeds. And then I'm going to set up a texture. Textures. /items / custom seeds. To say link a texture to your item. I'm going to just do this to bring it onto one line. There we go, there's our custom seeds. And if you want to add another one, just do this, identifier there, or the name that you put here, that texture icon. There we go, so that's linked up. So now if we open up the world with our add-on installed, we should be able to see our custom seeds. No errors, hopefully. There we go, cool, no errors. Grab out, give, copy, custom seeds. As you can see, we have custom seeds here. They are named correctly, they're in the nature section as well. Well, they should be at least, but they're not. They're probably over here. There they are. They're just not organized at all. But if we break these plants, you can see we can place these seeds here. So that's a good sign. That means this is all working correctly. So if you want to place seeds, that's how you do that. Seeds. There we go. And now, as you can tell, our seeds currently sound like stone. seeds should not sound like stone, so I just save and quit and add a sound for our seeds. So blocks, and then over here, just copy what we had before. Custom crop, because that's the block name. Textures, it doesn't matter what we put here because we already have the other texture. So I don't really know, it doesn't matter. Sound, grass. There we go. So that should be correct. This doesn't matter, but I'm gonna set it to the stage 0 growth with it. But now it should sound like grass. So if I go back into here, open it up, when I place it, it should sound like just normal seeds. And here we go. Break, place. The placement sound is wrong for some reason. Okay, so I was looking around for a way to fix this issue with placing it sounding wrong, but I don't think that I can. So I guess for now we're going to have to deal with it. But as you can tell, when you jump on it, it breaks, so that's correct. I'm just going to put these back. There we go. Okay, and now we just have to add a loot table. So custom seeds. This is the pack. Loot tables. I'm going to do crops. Custom crop. Basin. There we are. Open this up. And now in here, I want the plant to drop just some seeds, just one piece of the custom seeds, and then I'll also add a loot table when it's fully grown, which will drop something else as well. So over here, I'm going to add a loot table with some pools, roles, 1, entries, type, item, name, sample, custom seeds. So this will spawn in the custom seeds item. We'll wait 1 and functions. I just set the count to 1. There we go. So that's that. The block will now drop the custom seeds. So I just have to hook it up to here. Custom crop loot table. So where should I put that? I'll put that over probably here. I grab loot tables / I think I put it in crops / custom .json. I believe it needs the .json. Loot tables. Cool. So that should now have a loot table in it. And if I go into here and over here, it should drop the seeds when you break it or when you jump on the ground. There we are, I dropped the seeds over there. Yep, that's correct, and it drops 1 seed, so 2 of them. Now I have 3. So that's correct. Again, I don't know why this is placing sound like stone, but still. That's strange. If you place it with the block, it sounds like a block. It sounds like the actual block does. So I guess that's a bug or something. I don't know. But as you can tell, you can place it now with this and it drops one of these items. There you go, 1 seed. So now I'm going to make a loot table for when the plant is fully grown. Custom crop. Stage 6, the final stage. Custom seeds say count, and then over here I want a min and max count. Count min 0, I guess. Max 2, 3, and then I'm going to need another one. row 1, and then this will be the actual carpets that I want, so whatever I want. I don't know, I guess I'll just make it drop obsidian. Why not? Set count anywhere between 0 and 2. Yep, there we go. So it will drop obsidian and seeds when it's fully grown. So now we have to add that loot table into here. So at the last stage, underneath here, change the loot table, custom crop, stage 6. We'll just close all these because I don't need them open. So now the loot table will be changed when it's on its last growth stage. So if I open this up, there we go. You can see we have these. So I'm just going to go to survival. Break it. Oh. I spelled it wrong. That was my bad. Okay, here we go. Break that. Obsidian. Break it. Seeds and obsidian. Obsidian. I got nothing that time. Seeds. Seeds. As you can tell, we are getting a harvest of obsidian and seeds, which I admit is a bit strange, but oh well. That's what I set, and that's what we got, so not a problem. There we are. Plant all this back, even with the annoying planting sounds. So that's how you make custom crops, custom crafting tables, and custom block models. That is all this video is about. So if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want more of these kinds of videos, also I've been thinking of making an items tutorial as well, like custom tools, weapons, armor, things like that. If you want that kind of stuff, just ask. Join my Discord server as well. Link is in the description. So that is honestly that. So thanks for watching. Again, like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Hit the bell as well. And yep, the download will be in the description for this, and so will that geometry file for this crop. So feel free to grab those for yourself. And this is also only working on the beta edition, 1.16.100.56. So obviously this won't work in the main version just yet till the update comes out. But yeah, see ya.